One family member, the brother, Jake, has pled guilty. He is expected to testify against his brother. And there is going to be, from prosecutor's standpoint, they want him to come in and basically connect the brother to the planning, et cetera, getting him there. Is that all they need? Because the defense has said, well, our guy didn't shoot anybody. He was there actually to try to protect. How dicey is it when you have family members who will do anything, one would think, for each other, to rely on them as a key witness at trial? I know there's a deal that's been hatched and it's kind of been laid out. However, once it's showtime, I would think you never know what's going to happen.
No, I completely agree. I think the family thing cuts both ways. I mean, I think anybody that has brothers and sisters, if you're on a jury, you would believe that if someone is testifying against their own brother and sister, they're telling the truth, but that is not always the case. And what you've alluded to, Ted, is the plea bargain itself, which doesn't only include the testifying parties, but it includes some level of relief for people that are not associated with the cooperation, avoiding the death penalty for people who are still not telling the whole story of what happened. I think, the good thing for this community and the victims' families and everybody in general is that I do think through the cooperating parties, we're going to hear a narrative. Whether it's entirely true or not, we're going to hear a narrative that explains, which is, quite frankly, unexplainable for most people. How do you get a full family to go out and massacre this many people in this gruesome fashion in concert? And it's unheard of. And I think we're going to hear a narrative that it lays out how that happened, and it'll be important for the healing and ultimately justice to be had for all the parties.
There were multiple locations. The jury has gone on that jury view before even opening statements began. But those, the complexity of just the locations will work, will it not, towards the state's theory that this was planned, had to be planned and meticulously planned, because in the hours of darkness, you better know where you're going if you're going to traipse around Pike County like you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, did before trial.
Yeah, Ted, that's a great point. And, it's unusual that a court will grant this level of exposure to a jury outside of the courtroom. My experience is that most judges frown upon this. It opens up a can of worms that, then they want to see this and they want to see that. And, it's a funnel that just keeps on getting broader and broader. But the fact that the state pushed for this and was successful initially, I think, goes to your point, and that is that without seeing these locations, it's going to be difficult to wrap your head around the complexity of what occurred here, as opposed to what we normally use in courtrooms are, PowerPoints, photographs, and so on. So I think the prosecutor was very wise to push for this issue. And quite frankly, I think the defense probably should have pushed back a little harder on going forward with this, because this might not be the last time they try it. I mean, again, once they get a taste of the apple, the jury may want to go back to a different scene or see the same scene twice, and that's never good for the defense.